Hey guys, Crazypostman here. Well, it's been a year with the Terramow, and I thought I would make a quick video because I do need to perform a little maintenance. If you can believe it, I've gone a whole year without literally doing anything to this. Now, I have sprayed it off a few times and cleaned off the top of it, and I have cleaned off the camera area because for some reason spiders like to get in there and make their little webs right there in that little spot. I have had to wipe that off a few times, but otherwise I haven't done anything. I haven't even changed the blade. Now, I do have a small backyard, so the Terra here doesn't have to do too much. I do have it scheduled to mow 3 times a week in my backyard for most of that year. Here in the last couple of weeks, I changed it to every day just because I just wanted to see how it could handle that. It doesn't take it much time to mow my backyard, so even at every day, I'm not putting that many hours on it. Well, here's what the Terramow and the house look like after 1 year of use. We're certainly going to have to pull it out and give it a good spray down before we take it inside. Got a bit of a dog poop on the tire. This thing is so quiet when it mows. You literally can't hear anything but the motors. Oh, it ran over a huge poop. I just sprayed the crabgrass, so that's why there's yellow spots. Hopefully all that crabgrass will die. My yard's gonna look bad for a while though. It is so quiet. Let's get this thing cleaned off. We're going to flip off the main power switch before I start spraying. We're going to have to activate a little bit stronger of a jet here. You can see the blade spins pretty freely here, just from the water pressure. Well, it looks a lot better now. I'm going to dry everything off and then I'll meet y'all inside. So let's quickly go over any problems I've had with it for the last year. There has been 2 things. Now, one of them wasn't a big deal, and I made a video about it a few months ago showing how I fixed it. What I noticed here, my Terra was doing an abnormal amount of circles in the yard, like having to reacquire its position. The only way it can find where it is to spin a circle and see its points that it's saved in its little map, its little points of interest, landmarks, whatever you want to call it. So I noticed it was doing a bunch of spinning in the yard, and I sent in a report to Terramow saying, hey, this is kind of spinning in the yard. They looked at the feedback from the logs I uploaded here, and they replied, yeah, it looks like your camera is miscalibrated a little bit. So free of charge to me, they sent me out this calibration thing with instructions. I set it up. Like I said, I did a whole video over this. You can go back and look. And since then, it hasn't really been doing as many circles in the yard as it was in the old times before the calibration. So that problem was solved. The only other thing, and I'm getting a little nitpicky here, is I've had a problem with the stop button. The spring in my stop button doesn't always push it back up. So if I go over there and slap the stop button, there's a small chance that it's gonna stay pushed down into the machine. I have to go get a butter knife or something and wiggle it and it pops back up. I think that has been addressed in their manufacturing process, so this is a very early model. I was one of the YouTubers that they sent this to make videos with, so I didn't have to pay for this, in full disclosure, but I am legitimately enjoying it, and I'm still using it after a year. And I have plenty of other robot lawnmowers to choose from. The fact that I choose to still use this one as the main robot lawnmower in my yard should tell you all you need to know. It is legitimately good. And I'm amazed at how well it works, just being vision only. With all that being said, there is a bit of maintenance I need to do today. In the app, there is a timer under maintenance that lets you know when it's time to change the blades. And after a year of use, I finally used up that timer. So that's amazing. These blades are pretty cheap to purchase. And the fact that I got a whole year of use out of one of them is amazing. I don't think Terramow recommends this, but all I'm gonna do is flip them. The blade only goes one direction on this Terramow. They say they did it that way because of engineering the waterproofness of the machine. So it doesn't spend its time spinning 50% in one direction and 50% in the other direction like some robots do. This one always spins the same direction. So that means you can flip your blades and you have a brand new cutting edge on the other side. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna try to get 2 years of use out of one set of blades. Now, this will only work if you have a small yard like mine. Obviously, it took me a whole year to put, I think it's 245 hours of use on them. So if you have a small yard, you're likely to get 2 years out of your blade. Now, some people like to change their blades more often and have a more prize-winning look on their lawn. My goal is not to have the best looking lawn in the world. It's just to keep the grass mowed. So some people may want to change it more often. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but the Crazypostman is going to try to get 2 years out of these blades. So let's go ahead and flip it up here, and we're going to take a look at the bottom side for the first time, and we're going to get these blades flipped. And then I'll give you a closer look at the machine so you can see how it's doing after a year's worth of use. And we'll quickly go over the app because there has been many updates, and it's a year old and I'm still getting updates for this. So they have not abandoned this model completely. Now there is a new model that's been released, and it's currently on pre-order, but it's about to go wide release. It's basically the same thing. So if you already have a Terramow, you don't need to run out and go buy the new one unless you want to. I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money either. If you want to go get it because it does look updated, but mainly it's the same thing with just a few improvements and different looks from the outside. It's basically the same lawnmower. They lowered the capabilities just a little bit. I think it's a 1000 model now instead of 1200, and I think that was just to more accurately reflect its true capabilities out in the real world. You know, in a more complicated yard, it might take 2, even maybe 3 days to get 1200 meters squared mowed. So they lowered the size just a little bit on the new one. Now it doesn't mean that it's less capable than this one. It's just more accurately reflected on its true capabilities. This guy on a 1200 meters squared complicated yard was having some difficulties getting it done in time. It was pretty much having to mow continuously. This guy doesn't mow at night. So 30 minutes before sunset and 30 minutes after sunrise, that part of the day is all you get. All right, let's get these blades flipped. So here's kind of a look at how the bottom looks now after a year. It looks pretty good. There's no like real damage, it's just kind of dirty a little bit. Caster wheels hanging in there. The blade area looks pretty decent. Now we're gonna zoom in here and we're going to change these blades here. Once I go find a Phillips screwdriver. You know something I just realized? The way they have their screws on this thing, they remain loose. You see that? How there's kind of like a little nubbin here at the top. I don't know what else to call that, but it kind of sticks up from the cutting plate. I just realized there's not much grass or any grass underneath these blades, and they're still spinning freely after 1 year. I did nothing but use a water sprayer on this. I didn't pick out any grass beforehand, so not bad. And to be honest, the blades don't even look that bad after 1 year. Can you focus on that? Let's see. That's the other side. So, did I even need to change these blades? There might be a small chip out of the end of this one. It might have hit something like a rock. But holy moly, that blade looks really good for a year's worth of use. There is some grass buildup on the back here. Maybe I should try to scrape that off. I better do that over the trash can. That's a smart idea. There we go. So we're just going to put this right back on, upside down. So this design on the cutting plate is nice. It's always, no matter how tight you screw this screw down, it's going to leave the blade loose. There, the blade is tight. But see, the screw is still loose. A little buildup on the back like the other one, so I'm going to go scrape that off. Changing out these blades is going to be just kind of the user's discretion. Whatever you like. If you like to use your blades to the max, use them to the max. You just lose a little cutting quality. If you like your grass looking the best possible, change them out more often. This one has a few more nicks on the cut side. The left side here is the side it was cutting with. So you can see after a year, it did have a few nicks in the blade, but we still got a brand new side there, so we're going to use it. All 3 blades have been replaced. Everything is spinning freely. We got another 240 hours. Now, when I got this, I did receive a lot of extra blades because I got one of the models for Kickstarter. And I think it did so good on the Kickstarter that they got the bonus blades and the extra cutting plate added to the boxes. I do have a lot of extra blades and a whole extra cutting plate in the box if I ever need it. So now let me take the camera off the tripod and we'll check out a closer look of its condition here. So let's get a closer look of what everything looks like after a year. Here is your single caster wheel here on the front. It seems to be doing okay, still sliding in and out like it's supposed to, still spinning freely. It has survived a year in my yard. There is the power button. Here is a compartment that I forget what's in there, to be honest. I don't even remember. Maybe we'll open that here in a second so I can remember what's in there.
Editor Crazypostman here from the future. I forgot to open that, so now we'll just never know.
And then behind the cutting plate, it has one of these accordion style pieces of rubber back here. And I had problems with this piece on my Luba, but this one feels much thicker and much more substantial. It's going to be much more difficult to puncture this one. But that's it for the bottom side. Everything looks pretty good down here. Let's take a look at the top and see the battle scars. We have one little scuff here on the front. Otherwise, the front of this thing looks pretty good. There's my air conditioner over there. It's off right now. Y'all are welcome. It's really hot in here. Camera's still looking pretty good. TerraVision, nice and clear. No water has gotten in, no cloudiness, no murkiness behind the lenses. Now that's another thing to note. This guy has lived outside 24/7. I don't bring it in. It stayed outside most, if not all of winter. Here's the problem I had. See, the stop button is supposed to go up and down, but mine, if you push it down, it stays. It doesn't pop back up. I have reported this to them, and if I was a real customer, they might have replaced this under warranty, but I said don't worry about it. You know, I'm just a YouTuber. I got this for free. I'll deal with it. It's not worth the trouble. All I have to do is stick a butter knife in there and wiggle it and it'll pop back up. This is the only hardware problem that I know of, and it has been fixed on the new models. There you go. See, that's all I have to do, and it'll pop right back up. So it doesn't really affect the safety because you can always slam the stop button and it'll stop. It's just, oh, it popped back up. It's just sometimes after you use the stop button, it's going to stay stopped permanently until you use the knife. Ha! Maybe it's working its way out. That's good. All right. Maybe we just need to throw some oil in there. Now I'm going to show you this side first because this tire still looks pretty good. You can read Terramow there. Maybe one or two scratches here, but it's hanging in there, hasn't bumped into too many things. But checking out the other side, this guy over here has had a rough life. You can see there is something in my yard that it is rubbing against. I've looked around my yard and I can't see exactly where it's rubbing. Now, my bet is it's going to be somewhere on the fence because of this design. It's a repeating design. And I'm going to bet it's somewhere on the fence that it's scratching. But check that out. It has almost completely wiped out the Terramow brand name there. Checking out the back end here, you can see it looks pretty good. Now looking at this, you can see my serial number is number 90. So that just tells you how early of a model that I have. It's really cool to have one that's less than 100. You know, it's one of the true first ones that's out there in the world. So Terra number 90 is still hanging in there and mowing every day. So thanks for joining me and doing a bit of maintenance on the Terramow S1200 here. Happy 1-year birthday, Terra. Now Terra does have a new sister, like I said. I'll throw a picture of what the new model looks like here. I think it's still in pre-order status. I don't think it's just available everywhere yet, but if you're interested in it, it is a good robot lawnmower. I don't receive any commission from Terramow. I don't receive any commission from Emotion, and that's the way I like to do it. I don't want to feel pressured to say anything a certain way. I have never received any money from any company on the Crazypostman YouTube channel. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if they sell their product on Amazon, I will gladly use my Amazon link to link to it. But in Terramow's case here, there is no Amazon. So I make zero money off this and I'm still singing its praises. So I hope that tells you that I really like this lawnmower. There is a Eufy model on Amazon that is mostly similar to this. I'll leave a link in the description. And if you want to pick that one up from Amazon, I do get a 3% commission for sending you to Amazon. So thanks for watching this video. I'm gonna put this guy back in the backyard and I will see y'all in the next one. I really don't want to turn off the air conditioner, but I'm afraid it's gonna be too noisy in the background. It kind of sounds like a mixture of a loud fan plus a refrigerator running, kinda. All right, I'm gonna turn it off. It's with it running, it's 78 degrees in here, so it's gonna quickly get hot. All right, air conditioner, don't get used to your brake.